Joining us to do that from 96.7 The Ticket in Dallas, Donovan Lewis joins us now on the Rude Guest Hotline. Rude, the most reliable heating and air conditioning products in the DMV. Donovan, how you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you guys?
Good, Donovan. I hate that this game's going to suck, but, other than that, I'm fine.
I hear you right there with you.
What has been the feel of the Cowboys season this year? Where I think seeing Hard Knocks has been kind of interesting. I think the Cowboys have maybe come out of the winners of that because I thought the Schottenheimer hiring was a joke. And then now that I watch him on Hard Knocks, I'm actually a little bought into what he's doing. What's been the feel around Dallas this year with his first year as man in charge?
Man, I think your feel has been kind of the feel of everyone around here because it just felt like it was the easy hire. It was the one that he knows exactly how things are run in the complex and the organization, so there's not going to be any pushback about anything. And if you get one of these hot new guys like Ben Johnson or Liam Cohen or one of those guys, they may want to do things differently, maybe upset the apple cart a bit. But, yeah, at first it's like, oh, that's easy. Didn't even have to go outside the organization. He knows how it goes. And then everything that we've heard from Brian Schottenheimer leading up till maybe a few weeks ago has been, oh, man, this guy knows exactly. He's sounding like a head coach. He knows exactly what he's doing. Now, I think the last few weeks, maybe the last few games, it feels like he's been a little bit overmatched coaching-wise. And since he's the offensive coordinator and calling plays and the offense hasn't been exactly what it's been before, maybe you're thinking, okay, there's a lot of tape around, so everyone knows what you're doing, so now you have to adjust. And maybe now the last couple of weeks he's getting a little pushback about his game plan and how the team has been going. But I'm with you as far as, man, I just don't know about this hire. It seems like he fits the script as far as the head coach goes. Now, they're going to have to surround that guy with some talent, and maybe we can say, okay, well, if you're going to have all the pieces, can you put it together to have this overall feel of the team? Not just the offense, because the offense has been really good, but this defense and has been bad, and does he need to get a little more involved since he is the head coach? So it was a terrible start, a fantastic middle, but I feel like the ending has been a little bit downhill for him, and I guess he has a couple of weeks to see if they can – but I don't even think the last couple of games are going to change anyone's mind about how they feel about it now. I think he's winning some people over, but it's a long way to go.
So there was a report that came out in the Baltimore Sun about some things that the Ravens were displeased about in-house with their franchise quarterback, Lamar Jackson. When's the Trayvon Diggs dirt going to come out? We all know something's there. They're playing like it's not. It's probably a lot worse than what we could even imagine.
I'm with you. I don't even think it's I don't even know if they're pretending to have everything is like I will call it pancakes and Skittles, which are my two favorite things in my whole life. They're not even pretending anymore. It's just a relationship that's just ending, and I don't know where the trust was broken. Was it when he was working out somewhere else, and then they fined him $500,000, and he thought, oh, there's no way they're going to take $500,000 from me, and they did. I don't know if that started it. I don't know if them trading his buddy, Michael Parsons, to where he just felt like the writing was on the wall, that if Michael Parsons is going to go, he's going to go. But it crashed and burned pretty quickly with Trayvon Diggs and the Cowboys. And now I don't think there's a chance that he'll be back on this team next year, but I do think he'll find somewhere to play that will maybe maximize his talents. And I think he'll be okay. I don't think he's a trash player. I just think his attitude is gone. And when, if you're in a relationship and it's not going well, why the heck are you going to give 100% in that relationship when you know it's not going to go anywhere? So I think that's where both sides are as far as that goes. And they brought him back last week and these last 2 weeks because they have to, because of Deron Bland being out and just the shortcomings that they have in the defensive secondary. So I think that's the only reason he's back on the field. If Bland wasn't hurt, I think you would see Trayvon Diggs as a healthy scratch the rest of the season, knowing that the relationship is done and dusted.
Talking with Donovan Lewis of 96.7 The Ticket in Dallas, Tobi Altizer, Lynnell Willingham filling in as we scout the opponent, getting ready for the Cowboys. Donovan, looking ahead to tomorrow, is it the last time that we'll see George Pickens as Washington fans playing against us in a Dallas uniform, or are we going to have to deal with this for years where you've got a legit 1A, 1B situation with CD and George Pickens?
I think it's going to have to deal with it at least one more year. They're going to have to make sure that they keep him around. I feel like that last year of Mike McCarthy, they set him up to fail and didn't give him the resources to try and do something good with this team. And I don't think they're going to do that with Brian Schottenheimer. I really don't. So if they have to utilize a franchise tag or tag him somehow, it's not going to make him pretty happy as far as not getting all the guaranteed money. But at least they'll use the leverage that they have to keep him around. So I think that you'll have to deal with him at least one more year. I think that's the bare minimum. I'm kind of in the market of them getting a deal done so they can manipulate the salary cap. And knowing they're going to pay him about $30 million a year, just try and see if they can front load this thing or back load it to make sure that they can play with the salary cap and keep adding to a defense that's been pretty bad. I just don't think you can go into next season, seeing what this offense has done this year, and say we could subtract the Pro Bowl receiver and then just bring someone else in the draft and everything will be okay, because they tried that and it hasn't worked. So they have to make sure that they keep this offense going, and that is only going to work if you have George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb on each side of the ball. You can't even think of it any other way. So I'm sorry, Washington fans. I think you're going to have to deal with George Pickens for a while here at the Dallas Cowboys.
As we get ready to wrap the season up, grade the rookie year of Tyler Booker for us.
Man, I will give him a very, very solid B, which I think is really good, seeing who he had to replace,
right,
and just seeing the circumstances of the year. Like, man, when you draft a guard in the first round, a top 12 pick, you expect him to be good, but if a guard is good, you really just don't hear his name.
Yeah.
So it's kind of odd and kind of weird to kind of grade it, because when you say, all right, this offensive lineman, we need him to plug and play, that means I don't need to hear his name on Sundays unless he's just destroying people. And you've seen a couple of times where Tyler Book has been really good, but he's a rookie, and you've had some rookie moments, and that's just expected. But when you have to replace a walk-in Hall of Famer like Zach Martin, I think that raises the bar of expectation a bit, and it just kind of makes you grade a little bit, maybe on the curve, not to his advantage, which may not be fair to him, but that's just how it is. And I think any other team would have to be, or any other player will have to judge that way on any other team when you replace a guy like Zach Martin. So you can definitely tell that the interior of this offensive line is going to be the strength. They're going to have to figure out the tackle situation in order to take this offense to another level. And it's weird to say, because this offense has been really good, and they've had some really suspect tackles. And if they don't get that figured out, then you're going to see that same thing next year. So they are very satisfied with that interior, and Tyler Booker is just a guy that they don't have to worry about, and just put him in and feel like for the next decade he'll be right there at right guard, just replacing Zach Martin. And how crazy is that you can have a guy that you picked that you don't have to worry about replacing a Hall of Famer. So they're really satisfied with what he's done, and I think he's been really good this year.
On the other side, Donovan, a guy that I thought a lot of us out here thought the Commanders might go with in the draft, Donovan Ezeraku. What have you made of his rookie year?
Oh, man, it was a slow start, but I think that's pretty much expected, especially when you trade Michael Parsons a week before the season, and you don't know what the heck you have on the outside rushing the quarterback. And he's a rookie, and he's getting his feet kind of, seeing how he's going to go about in the NFL. But he's been really good. That's one of those arrows pointing up, because the Cowboys, the last couple of drafts before 2025, they missed the mark, and it's especially with their premium picks. And it's like, okay, you got to make sure 2025 is a success. If not, then that's what you see challenging the depth of your team. And Donovan Ezeraku has been a pleasant surprise here. I know everyone knew that he was going to be good, but the experience that they've had here with the Cowboys with young defensive ends is that it takes a year or two for them to even think about finding themselves and how they're going to be, what their role is going to be. And it took him about 6 or 7 weeks, man, but he's been in there making plays, and he's been noticed. Seems like he slowed down a little bit towards the end of the season, but I think that's expected also. But I think they're very, very happy with him and those first 2 picks in the 2025 draft, man. Man, you can even throw the third in with Savon Ravel, the guy that was hurt. He didn't come around until the Raiders game for the Cowboys, but their top 3 picks have been a swing and a hit. And that hasn't been the case the last couple of years. So I think the Cowboys, the front office, the fan base is pretty satisfied to see, okay, next year, but they have some games under their belt, they'll be fine. You don't have to worry about those positions. Now go fix and plug everything else.
Is this the year? Speaking of like the success that they've had in the draft, and I think it's been, sneaky one of the best drafting teams over the past decade. If you look at
Right.
where their premium talent has been and how they've acquired it, it's been via the draft. Is there fear amongst Cowboy fans that maybe this is the year you lose Will Clay?
Maybe. I don't know if that's a big time fear. It feels like Will McClay is pretty happy with his role here. And I know Jerry is officially the GM, but he's getting paid like a GM, and probably, you know what? He's not getting the criticism of a normal GM because of Jerry and his stature. But so he can have those swing and misses, and no one will think badly about him. Because if I'll just blame Jerry, it's one of those things where I don't think anyone wants Jerry to go away except the fan base. Everybody in the front office wants him to stay because he gets every single ounce of the blame that's going on with his team, and it's warranted. 30 years without an NFC championship game appearance, and the only constant has been Jerry around here. So every finger is going to be pointed at him, and I think it's going to be a sad day if Will McClay decides to leave. And you just cross your fingers thinking, okay, the next hire is going to make all the difference in the world. I'll just say that. If you get a name that people will recognize and think, okay, maybe he can step in and do pretty well, then I think everybody will be okay. But I don't know, man. It's just you always have to kind of hold your breath with hires in the Dallas Cowboys land because you just never know what you're going to get. And just to make and appease Jerry and Steven is what everyone fears more than anything else around here.
Talking with Donovan Lewis as we scout the Cowboys ahead of tomorrow's game on Christmas. Talking about the Cowboys defense, I don't think they'll have any issue tomorrow slowing down Josh Johnson and crew. But going into next year, what have you made of Eberflus? It feels like they've had some ups and downs, played a little bit better lately than they did the start of the year. But is that a unit that if they can get some stuff figured out, I mean, the offense you would think can still maintain a decently high level going into next year. Can they get that unit figured out so that they can be legit threats once again in the NFC East and NFC as a whole?
Yeah, I was going to, for Christmas, I'm going to give you guys a whiteboard. So when I'm going to write ups on one side and downs on the other for Mike Eberflus. And then you're going to have like 2 ups and like 700 downs. Like there's not a person around here that thinks Matt Eberflus will be the defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys next year.
Wow.
Not a person. This defense has been really, really, really bad. When you have players walking in saying, look, I know you want to play zone, man, but our strength is man-to-man. Let's play more man. Let's play more man. And you still don't do it and you're not playing to the strengths of your players, then I just don't know what to say. That's what coaches are supposed to do. And I know he's been a defensive coach for a long time, and he has skins on the wall. But, man, it just did not work out. And if they don't bring him back, that will be 4 defensive coordinators in 4 years. And that's not a recipe for success around here. This defense has been terrible. And moving Eberflus upstairs to the booth where he hasn't been in 2 decades, it's kind of the writing on the wall thinking that they're going to have to bring someone else in. Now, the problem is Brian Schottenheimer is not going to be the guy that marches in and says, I want that guy as my defensive coordinator. It's going to be Jerry and Steven. And that's the problem because he's not getting someone that he feels he can work with and, they can work together to make this defense better. So, man, they did what they had to do as far as getting Quinnen Williams, and that made the defense better up front. But they got a long way to go because they didn't value defensive tackle until this year. And then they signed 3 guys that are making $20 million at defensive tackle. They don't value safety. In the middle, the second level of this defense has been atrocious this year. I mean, terrible. Yeah. So they got a long way to go and a lot of fixing to do. And what if the new defensive coordinator comes in and says, man, the players we have, they don't fit my scheme. We have to try and do something else. You can't do it in one draft because the Cowboys have 2 first-rounders. They don't have a second or third-round pick, minus the compensatory picks. They might get a bottom third-round pick, but that's it. So it's it's the ultimate work in progress, but they've got to get this hire right. They've got to bring someone in. If it's Matt Eberflus, you got to give him the keys and say, you got to get the guys that you want to fix this defense if we're going to keep you here. But, man, I will bet dollars to donuts that it's going to be a new defensive coordinator this year. Next year. I think
it's got to be. They got to find a way to one, cover better. You're right. I mean, coverage busts all over the place. More chance of that happening when you're playing a heavy amount of zone. But on the offensive side of the football, I think watching what Dak Prescott has done this year, super duper impressive. Obviously, that was a big role, or he had a big role, I would assume, in Shoddy coming back as the head coach. Can you win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott being on this current contract? Are you able to? How much of a limitation do you think the contract is for in terms of their roster construction?
Man, that's always the burning question here, especially when you have the highest paid player in the NFL. But you see so many teams paying so many players and still having success and still manipulating the salary cap. You know, sometimes it may get you in trouble. Look at San Francisco. San Francisco paid all their players. It got them in a little bit of salary cap hell. They had to get some players, release some players, cut some players, and they won 10, 11 games this year. It didn't take long. Look at Denver.
Right.
Denver had Russell Wilson, had to get out from underneath that contract. You're thinking, man, they're going to be in the pits for a while. And then still paying Russell Wilson, they're still right there in the mix winning the AFC West. So it can be done. It really, truly can. It's just about how much you want to leverage the salary cap and move the pieces around. They did it a ton when Tony Romo was quarterback here, trying to win, and they couldn't get it done. So now it feels like they're going the other way, saying, hang on now, we don't want to try and move too many chess pieces around because we don't want to have to kick the can down the road and get in trouble in the future. Well, man, you wasted a fantastic Pro Bowl Dak Prescott year. How many more does he have in him? Because we've seen players fall quickly and hit hard after a good year thinking, oh, they'll be fine the next year, and then it's not. So a wasted Dak year, you can't do that again, man, because that dude is 32, 33, just not as mobile. He was injury prone. You just never know when the next hit will sideline him. So you got to make sure that you put the right pieces around to try and win. I think you can. I really personally do. You can win a Super Bowl with Dak and that contract and him as quarterback. I really do. But you got to be creative, and you got to make sure that you hit in free agency. You got to hit in draft to put those players around them, especially defensively, to win, because they've invested heavily in that offense. They need to do the same thing in that defense.
Donovan, last thing real quick before we let you go. Prediction for tomorrow. And out here, we're struggling to find things that we're interested in to watch tomorrow's game. What are some things that you guys are interested in watching tomorrow's game?
Boy, I think we're struggling together. The struggle's real. Yeah, nothing's on the line. So it feels weird that it's the opening game of Christmas Day and it has no ramifications whatsoever. We're all surprised that Dak's even going to play. Are you going to play some of the regulars? But a little pride is in there also, and they want to finish the season strong. Josh Johnson, the ultimate test is a third-string journeyman quarterback against the worst defense in the NFL. That's going to be the test. That's what I'm looking forward to. If he can move the ball up and down the field against the Dallas defense, scrap it and start all over because it's that bad. But it's just all about seeing if you can execute. You know what? They haven't had the Cowboys 2 losing seasons in a row since like 01 or 02 when they went 5-11 those 3 years in a row. So they win the last 2 games. They could be 8-1. Technically, that's not a losing season. That's probably what they're playing for. And just trying to see who you can bring into the next couple of years when you expect to be a good team. So that's what you're looking for tomorrow. It's not about the results. It's about, okay, can you be with us in 27 and 28 when we expect to be a really good team? Show me now, and then we can do this now. So that's basically what I'm looking for.
You guys are talking about avoiding back-to-back losing seasons. We were arguing about QB3 and QB4 and Sam Hartman. Rough times right now for both of us.
It's rough times in the NFC East, man. I don't know what we did. I don't know what's happening here, but it's rough in the NFC East right now.
Well, I appreciate the time, Donovan, and have a Merry Christmas, man.
Thanks, Donovan.
Hey, thank you. Same to you guys. Really good talking to you.
That's Donovan Lewis. He joined us from 96.7 The Ticket in Dallas. Fantastic guest. Appreciate his insight on scouting the opponent.